Okay, so you can go ahead and move, once you have this resized, move the cloud under Donald. You can't see it. That's fine. I don't expect you to. Zoom in a little bit so we can find the area that has the clouds. And again, some of this can be a little bit tricky because we have to go in between the trees and in between the sails of the boat. So I'm going to, oops, I do that sometimes. Notice what layer I'm on, the wrong one. So let me make sure I'm on the Donald layer. I'm going to select the big area first, okay, which is going to get most of it. But then I have to make sure that I come in here and get this little piece, this little piece, this little piece, this piece here. And I think that I've got all the parts around the trees. So now I'm going to scroll over and going to zoom in a little bit more here. I have this big area over here, this area between the anchor and the boat, again between the sails and the ropes, little piece here, 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 here. Okay, and the only way to check it is to hit delete. And I might want to zoom in a little bit just to double check. I think I'm good. Okay, so instead of doing a select inverse now, I'm going to go ahead and deselect, and I'm going to right click on Donald, and I'm just going to choose merge down. Notice we have those couple of different merge things. So I've merged it into one, which means that there's nothing underneath Donald in order to see through it. Okay? All right, done with the clouds. I am going to find this area here, which is going to be some grass right there. I'll drag this over. This can be resized a bit. Okay, I'm going to drag it under. Because I'm going to merge it, I'm not bothering to rename them either. Okay, on the Donald layer, I'm using my magic wand, selecting the grass, hit delete, double check, I think it's okay. So I'm going to merge down. I deselect and I merge down. Then I have some sand. Now I have two parts of sand. I have sandy beach here and I have a sandy beach here. I'm going to go ahead and just do this little piece now. So I'm going to find sandy beach, drag that over, resize it. And the reason we resize things is, if you think about it, some of these images are quite huge and the detail on them is large, which then makes it not fit in the small space provided. Okay, so that's why we resize it. I'm going to go back to Donald. I will try my magic wand. It looks like I can select all of that little beach and hit deselect and merge. I'm going to go, I'm not going to delete the sand. Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and do the sandy beach here too, since I have that one open. Let me drag it in. This one is going to have to be resized bigger now though. Okay, so we can see that it starts up here and then it basically goes to the bottom of the picture here. So I'm going to resize it that way. The details are bigger, but if you think about it, this part of the image is closer to us. This beach is closer to us, so the detail is going to be bigger anyway. Okay, so think about that perspective rule. So here I am. I'm going to select the beach, and there's a little bit here in between Donald's foot that I need to get. I'm going to leave all of these shells / rocks alone and the starfish alone. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit delete. All the sand comes through, so I can deselect and merge down. Now I can close that sandy beach. I am going to get the shells. Now the shells have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. So you're going to do this 8 times. Sorry. That's just the way it is. You're going to have to resize. And even though that is right next to each other, you are using it just for one. Okay, I'm going to magic wand just that one, hit delete, deselect, merge down. Now, as I drag this over this time for this big one, whoops, let me point out something because I'm not going to show you all of them. I'm going to let you do them. This time, instead of just resizing, I'm going to rotate this one as well. Notice how when I put my mouse to the outside, the arrows are kind of curved. I don't have to rotate it a perfect 90 degrees, but I want to rotate it some so that it's not the same angle for every single shell on that beach, because we know that wouldn't be realistic. And since we are making something that is supposed to be photorealism, then we want to do everything possible to make it look that way. Okay? So I've done 2 of them. I'm going to go ahead and hit pause on the video to finish the rest. You should do the same. Okay, all my shells are done now, and if I were to zoom in, you can see that they're all kind of twisted different ways, which is exactly what I want. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the starfish and drag that in. And this is obviously way too big, so I'm going to resize it a lot, fitting over the starfish. And I will select the starfish, delete, I'm leaving the eyeballs there, that's okay, and merge down. Okay, now we have the water and we have Donald and the bird left. So I'm going to do the water next. Let me close that and find water. There we go. Let me drag that in. The water takes up kind of a big section, so I'm going to start up there. That's the highest part. And I'm going to work my way through there. And it's covering everything that should be water. And drag it under. So now, if I were to click on the top layer and select the water, let's see what it lets me do, because I have kind of these little ripples or waves in there and need to be able to select all of them. Okay, and it got up here, got that, need between them, and I think I have it all, and I think it let me do it without switching tools, which I didn't think it would. Okay, so let me hit delete and check. And yep, I got it all, and it didn't take anything else out. So I'm going to deselect and merge down. I don't need the water anymore. I don't need that tree trunk. We'll go ahead and do the parrot now. So the parrot, I want you to see that I have purple, red, and teal feathers for the bird. So we're going to make his head red. So let's go ahead and drag that one over. And I'm going to resize it a little bit. Again, it's just going on his head and not his beak. Okay, so it's going to be just the feathers, that are, let me rethink that again. Just up here, here, over to the right. Okay? So I'll pull that down. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to get the top of his head. Whoops, I got to make sure I'm on the right layer. Top of his head, the side, making sure I don't get the eye or the beak, the side over here. Now because this eye is winking, I am going to select, no, I'm not going to select. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color that black later since he's winking. And then let's go ahead and delete. And there is the red-headed bird. I'll merge down. I think I'm done with the red feathers. I will use purple feathers next. Ooh, the purple feathers are very large, so we will have to resize it. I want the purple feathers to be back here on the tail. So I'm going to make sure that it sits right there. It's covering the tail. Then I can resize it a bit and right about there. Move it down. Again, I have different parts that I need to select, so I need to be careful to make sure I get it. Delete, and I've got his tail. I'm going to merge down again. The body is going to be the teal feathers. So I'm going to move these over and resize a bit. And I think that I needed to make that up there red too. So we're going to have to open that back up. All I'm going to select is the body here at the, like the belly for the teal. Okay. Deselect. Now, because I have recently had that open, when I go to File, I can go to Open Recent and find red feathers rather quickly. And drag that over. I'm going to get the red feathers one more time, resize it. It's going to be around the neck. Oops, I forgot to merge those the last time. Let me merge those. Now I can get that, and I can merge that again and deselect. And now I have some Donald to play with. I can delete that grass, those leaves. All right, so Donald has a sweater, and he also has like some trim on his sweater. So we got to be careful what we cover this with. So down to here, we're going to have to stretch this a little bit out of proportion to make sure it fits everything. I'm going to drag it under. He is going to have this main, whoops, always get the wrong one. Make sure you're on the top layer. This part, forget the stripe, but you need the cuff. Up here, but not this stripe or the bow. Right here. Here is part of the sleeve. Here's part of the sleeve. Here is the cuff, and then the inside, and that should get the blue sweater. Oops, I missed a part right here underneath the bird's feet. So let me Control Z to undo and add that to my selection. Now I can delete, and that looks better. So I'm going to close the blue sweater. I've got white feathers here, and Donald has white feathers. After I merge those layers, I will drag